and welcome to another episode of Dad vs. Daughter. I'm Tim the Dad.
I'm Megan the Daughter.
And today we are playing Pandemic the Cure, or what a lot of people like to call this, Pandemic the Dice Game, because this is basically the Pandemic board game with dice. Now, like the board game, we are each going to have a role. My role today will be the researcher, and what that's going to do, my special power, is it allows me to give samples to other players in other regions for free at any time. So that comes in helpful because I don't have to be in the same location. I can just go ahead and I can give whatever samples to Megan.
My role is the containment specialist. When entering a region, put one die of each color with 2 or more dice there in the treatment center and use the 3 arrow-sided die to put up 3 dice from the treatment center back into the bag.
Now, I will say that we do not have a great track record against Pandemic. In fact, I think we've won maybe once when we played correctly, because the first couple times we kind of botched a rule or two. So hopefully we'll play this one correctly. So just kind of give you a brief overview and the difference between this and the regular board game. Instead of having the map of the world, we have different discs that represent different parts of the world. So we're going to be starting off in North America. We've got Europe. We've got basically the Indonesian area. We've got kind of the lower Asia area, Africa, and South America. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling dice to figure out where all the diseases are at. And like in the board game, we have 4. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off and we're going to randomly draw 12 dice out of the bag.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
and the dice, they're not, what I want to say, they don't have all of the numbers on them. The different colors have different numbers. Like this one has a 2, a 4, a 5, another 5, and it has, every dice has these crosses. Whenever we get these crosses, we're going to be able to take those and put them in the CDC. And what that's going to allow us to do is, depending on the number of crosses that we have, we're going to be able to buy certain event cards, and those are going to be able to help us out. So when we do that, we'll kind of explain how that goes. So like in Pandemic, you're going to have outbreaks where if you have more than 3 dice of the same color in the same region, that's going to cause an outbreak. And we will have an outbreak track that goes from 1 to 7. If we get 8, we're dead. We're also starting on the standard difficulty level, and this represents the basically the biohazard symbol when they come up. What do they call it? That's an epidemic. Yes. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. So whenever we roll any of these, however many of these we roll, we are going to move the infection rate syringe up on the level. And when it passes basically this marker where you see this like the little splat thing, then that's going to cause some bad things. And we'll talk about that when we do that. So I think that about covers the basic rules, doesn't it, Megan?
I think so.
We've obviously got 4 diseases we want to try to cure. Last game that Megan and I played, Megan rolled lights out and was able to wipe out all the diseases.
Yeah.
So Megan, you want to go first? You want me to?
Sure. I'll go first. Well, biohazard right off the bat there.
Okay. So we'll move the syringe up 1.
Okay, I am going to treat the red.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my boat and go over here so I can take...
And you have a special ability.
Yeah, so put 1 die of each color with 2 or more dice there in the treatment center. So that goes there. And then I'm just going to fly over here with this. And I'm going to do the same thing. And then we can put up to 3 dice from the treatment center to the affection bag.
Well, we probably don't want to do that yet because we want to collect samples.
I'm not going to risk it, so I'm just going to pull 3 out.
Okay.
Put that over there. There we go. We don't want to start with 1 extra.
Well, we did.
Oh, we did.
You got 1. Yeah, I already moved it.
Okay, then I did that. 5 and that. Okay.
All right. Wow. Biohazard.
Yep.
So that's going to go there. Let's see. We've got yellows. So why don't I travel over here with my boat, and with my syringe, we'll put that in the treatment center.
2 samples.
And then take 2 yellow samples, and I will give those to you.
Okay.
And that will be my turn. So we'll pull 3 more dice out. And 5. Ooh,
That
we're
was
getting
a
close over here.
3. Okay. Okay, so that. So I have 2 syringes and 2 planes and that thing. So let's.
We want to get yellow.
Yeah, let's take the plane over here, and I'll put 1 here, and put 1 die of each color with 2 or more dice, so I can put 1 of those there. And
Okay.
then I'm gonna treat. No, I'm gonna go over here and treat. So there's my other plane, and then I can put 1 in here, and then treat 1, and then.
You
Should
put
we
3?
put 3 in the back in the bag?
Put the, yeah,
Those?
the other ones in.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So we'll do that, and then.
Give it a good shake and roll 3.
Okay, there's a cross, 1, and 4.
Okay, so we're not doing too bad. Let's see if I can get some collect some
Samples.
samples for you.
Yeah,
Well,
there we go.
there we go. I can get 2 samples.
Yep.
So
And
let's go ahead.
Treat the yellow.
So yeah, we'll treat the yellow.
And then 2 samples.
And 2 of those go to you.
Cool.
And I'm down to
You.
1 last dice. So yep. So let's
3,
go ahead and roll 3.
2,
6.
3. Okay. And ooh, biohazard.
Alright. 1 more and we're gonna have an epidemic here.
Okay, so I have 2 boats, that and a sample. So
Oh, you can collect another sample.
I know. I'm gonna treat this with this, and then I'll take the sample. And
Okay.
then I'm gonna move over here, and I'll take the red with this boat,
Okay.
and then this one with that boat.
Oh, good
next.
job.
So let's.
That's really using your ability.
Yeah.
Okay,
try
13,
this. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, there's 12, 14, 16.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool. So
Okay,
those
so
go back
those-
in the bag.
And so do these 2 here.
Yep. And there's your dice. Your backup.
Good. I need some
And
dice.
then we need 3 more. So.
Give it a good shake.
and
So yellow
3.
cure. What is the yellow disease, you think?
I don't know. Maybe it's Ebola. There you go.
Okay. So let's see what good wings we have here. Oh no, biohazard. So
That's
now we've crossed the threshold there. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to
3.
yeah
And these
3 and
2.
those. Yep,
So 2 6s,
that helps.
5,
2.
and 2. Okay.
Okay, so I
What do
really
you
need to.
have? You have a sample and a treat, so let's start with the reds.
Well-
Because we have a lot of reds.
I've got to get over there, and if I do that, it's going to cost me my 2 boats.
You can do that.
I could
Either
do
way.
that.
1, 2.
Yeah, this has got 3,
Yeah,
so let's
so
do
go
that.
there.
So
So
let's
2,
use my 2 boats. Let's treat
treat,
1
sample.
and give you a sample.
Thank you.
And that's all my dice.
Okay, so 3 new ones.
Hang on, before we do that, let's see. Let me look at this event. Rumors says return 1 dice to the infection bag instead of rolling it before rolling for an epidemic or infected regions. So what colors do you have? Did you pull out? You pulled out 2 yellows and a black. None of those are actually going to hurt us.
Yeah.
So we'll save that one.
So 5, 4. Oop, got those mixed up. 5, 4, and a 3. So we need to.
Okay, well, you're already there at the
Yeah.
3s.
Ooh,
Ooh.
2 biohazards. That's
Alright.
not good.
So 1, 2.
And okay, so let's fly over here, and I can put 2 of those in
Right.
with my ability. And let's take. Oh, we're not doing that. Okay, let's take the boat back over here.
Yeah.
Put these in, and then I'll take the red sample because we're going reds. So and then 3 dice to infect. Ooh, 6 is not gonna pop yet. We need to take care of that.
Okay.
And a 1. Okay. So
All right, so it's my turn.
yeah.
Oh man, 2 biohazards.
So that's gonna put us into the next. So that's 4 dice now.
Yeah, so we're gonna take those and we're gonna roll all those. That's not good.
Okay, 5s are gonna pop.
So
That's
we're
an
gonna have to
outbreak.
move up an outbreak.
And 3 is gonna pop over here.
Yeah.
So that's 2
So
outbreaks.
2 outbreaks.
Okay.
Okay, I have 2. I have 2 samples or a sample and a boat.
Give me. You can't treat anything.
No, we need to get something in the treatment center, so I have to roll these. And I get a boat.
Keep the sample. Reroll the boat.
All right. Another sample. Reroll.
No,
Biohazard.
Never mind. Okay, so that's 4 now.
Well, let me go ahead and I'm gonna try to re-roll this because I have two of the faces are syringes. Oh crud!
Yeah.
All right, so that's not good.
5s are gonna
So that's
pop
gonna
again.
give us another outbreak.
And then
It'll
the
move that up
6
one.
is gonna pop.
6 gives us another outbreak.
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
Okay, so where am I at? I'm over there. We need some reds. So here's a okay. Let's fly over here, and I can get 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And then I'll treat a red with this. So there's that. And then let me re-roll these two and hope for the best. Yeah, biohazard down. But let's fly back over here and do that. So that'll be my turn. And 4 more. 2, 3. That was a 3.
1
And
and
4. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Biohazard, and that pops it over here.
Well, that's not good.
4 dice. We got crosses though. 5, 6. 3 pops. And the 1s pop.
No.
Yeah.
We only have 3 1s.
No. We have.
Or 4 color. Oh yeah,
So
the same
1
color.
pops.
You're right.
5 pops.
So that's 2.
4 is fine. And okay.
So
2
2 more?
pops. We're dead.
Oh, we got 1 more.
No, because the 1 popped, the 2 popped,
I know.
the 3 popped, the 4 popped.
I got
They all
all
popped.
those. I got all those. Okay. Upon further review, it looks like we originally did not catch one of the outbreaks. So we actually had our 8th outbreak, and because 4 happened on that turn alone, so that killed us.
Yeah, so that's Pandemic the Cure.
This was called Pandemic the Butt Kicking.
Yeah.
This really kicked our butt. We've played this with 4 before, and I think the dice version scales well with really any number of players.
Yeah.
I think the board game with 2 players, when we've tried that, it hasn't been very good because there's just so much territory you have to cover. Here it's a little easier because you can move around a lot more freer. You can, you only have 6 hot spots really to go to.
They can fill up.
Yeah.
It helps if you have more people because you have more people that can.
Well, but you're
Yeah.
still infecting at the same rate,
Yeah,
after
but
everybody's
you
turn.
have more chances of curing quicker.
But we did win this before.
We have. We're not good at it.
In fact, if you go out to our Facebook page, we took a
Yes.
picture of it. So there's that out there. So I don't know that there's really any more to say. Too bad we didn't have any better events that came up that really helped
I
us.
kind of want to help us more.
Yeah. All right. So that's Pandemic the Cure, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye. Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.